0-2 on Coral. Inside. Pretty good looking pitch, huh, Oral?
Oh, great pitch. And that, you know, the pitch before that, the up and in fastball, is the ultimate place to pitch a lefty. That low and in place could be dead zone, but we'll see if he gets away with it.
Oral, the hero last night. Game-winning home run. Swings and misses, and fine pitching by O'Donnell with a man on third and the West best hitter at the plate, and he guns him down.
Well, like I was saying, low and into a lefty is kind of a bad space to be. But here, up and away to a lefty, not a bad place, especially after you establish the inside part of the plate.
Boy, with the runner on third, Oral, nobody out. Nothing better than a nice strikeout. Can he do it again? Here's the cleanup man, Josh Hash, the center fielder. Squares the bunt, takes one.
Well, Danny,
you got a job to do. Let's
Danny
go.
O'Donnell, he cannot get down on himself. He's got a hit batsman, a ground ball to third that could have been two, and now a strikeout. And he's given up one run, but he's still in this game, and he's got his rhythm.
You bet. Back, it's away from the catcher, but Evans didn't have enough time to dash home from third.
Well, this is Little League Baseball. They put pressure on you, and you hope that they throw the ball away like we saw how they created the first run. The four-hitter squares around the bunt 2 times. You don't see that too often in baseball.
Got a 1-1. Ash ready at the plate, and this time he does bunt. The squeeze is on. And it's 2-0 on the slide. Good slide by Evans here at home plate.
Almost like a safety squeeze. Perfect bunt. I mean, bunt, the placement is the key. He's going to put the ball right where he needs to. And again, the second part of this play is the slide by Jackson Evans to go outside and hook back around and sneak in. He was blocked off, but he snuck around. Great sliding twice we've seen this inning, Brent.
You bet. Here's Greg Peavy. He squares the bunt in the air. O'Donnell's got it. Could be a double play. It is! Yes, nice play by Dan O'Donnell. He bails himself out with a strikeout, then catches a pop bunt and doubles a runner off first base. Could have been a lot worse than that, huh, Earl?
Well, Dan O'Donnell, like a cat coming off the mound here. His momentum is taking to first base, right where the runner is, and a nice flip, and we got him.
But Vancouver, Washington moves ahead 2-0 on Davenport. Dan O'Donnell, the pitcher from Davenport, coming up here, says his favorite X-game events are the bicycling events.
Well, he'll be tuned in tonight then.
You ever do any of that skateboarding, Harold? You're pretty agile, man.
I did a little bike riding when I was a kid until I wrecked. Forget that.
Daredevil Harold, right, Earl?
Yeah, the only skateboard I had growing up was those ones you took the roller skates and put it on the bottom of a board. These are a little more sophisticated nowadays.
So here's young O'Donnell. Did a fine job of pitching in the first inning. Gave up 2 runs, but did not allow a hit. Strikeout, and then his double play really could save Davenport. Takes the ball up high, way outside.
Now, Oral, I've been dying to ask you this. Now, if you're Corey Duncan, what are you thinking about as a pitcher? You got a 2-0 lead.
Well, you know, you have to forget about the score unless there becomes a situation with runners on base. But here, with nobody on, nobody out, just throwing strikes and getting ahead. He's having a little trouble right now doing that. But, you know, you want to keep your team in the game. You want to keep your defense alive, and you don't want to set the table for a comeback.
So all that talk about you got to shut them down after your team scores runs. Is that?
Well, that's big time. I mean, yeah, you want to stop the momentum, and you want to keep the momentum you have. But the whole thing is you don't want to let it start to break down your mechanics and your concentration and start thinking about the scoreboard. You got to think about the job at hand.
That's the second walk of the game issued by Dunkel. And that'll be the easiest way for Davenport to climb right back in this baby, as a couple of bases on balls. That can kill a lot of Little League teams. Here's Shane White. I think Dunkel wants some of these pitches, Oral.
Well, that was a pretty good pitch right there. We got a Little League strike zone from the top of the knees to the armpits, and Harold has told us over the deuce here the whole time that the strike zone gets a little liberal at times to keep these games moving.
Foul away.
Big league level, you've got a midpoint between the waist and the letters and down to the bottom of the knees. In Little League, where the telestrator was that Harold drew, is the top of the knee to the armpit in Little League.
A lot of people, Earl, think they should call more high strikes in Major League Baseball and the games would move along a little quicker. What do you think about that?
Well, as an ex-pitcher, I would have to agree with you for sure.
I thought you might. 1-2. Nice play. And we've got another double play. Greg Peavy caught the line drive and doubled up the runner at first base. That's our second double play of this game.
Well, Brent, we've seen a couple bad base running mistakes. A little aggressive here. Danny O'Donnell's going to take off. Now look at Peavy. He goes up as high as he can. O'Donnell is way down the line. First thing you do as a base runner, you look around, see where the defense is positioned. And after the ball leaves the bat, now you've already got that determined in your mind. Then you can take off and go.
Here's Michael Schwartz, the catcher from Davenport, Iowa. He takes ball one.
Willy Wonka.
You know, one of the things that amazed me, Harold, when the youngsters listed their favorite Major League players, the vast assortment of players, but how did that one youngster come up with Al Rosen? He's from my generation. 1-1 with 2 out. Right back to the pitcher. And Davenport down here in the second inning. Vancouver, Washington, the West representative, leads it 2-0. We're going to have to find out the answer to my question from Dave Ryan when we come back. Well, there's Alex Gordon. Dave, what's the deal about Al Rosen being the favorite player?
Well, we're joined by Howard Gordon. He's Alex Gordon's grandpa, and the CPA, a client actually, is Al Rosen of Howard. Now, that's an interesting relationship, and we know also that Alex got a chance to meet Al Rosen, his hero.
That's right, he did. Al was very nice. We had lunch together, and in fact, the picture that we've got of Al and Alex together, Al said, "I'd love to have a picture of the two of us." I mean, that's the kind of man he is. When you don't ask him for an autograph and you finally ask him for one, he says, "Am I glad you finally asked me? I was feeling bad."
And Alex knows all about Al Rosen's stats, like he almost won the Triple Crown with the Indians in the 50s, right?
That's right, that's right. Last play of the last game of the season. So that's what it was. Yeah, Alex knows him.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Brent also has an autographed Yogi Berra baseball that Al Rosen gave him.
All right. What a thrill, huh, for Alex. I remember Flip Rosen. I remember how many times he broke his nose down there at third base, too. Good home run hitter. Played for a wonderful gentleman, Al Lopez, who later moved on and managed the Chicago White Sox.
How many times did you get Al Rosen out?
Oh,
wow.
Oh, low blow, Harold. Still low blow here already, huh?
Oh.
For the second. And our leadoff hitter, Alex, makes like Al Rosen, but this one caught in center field. But I'll tell you what, Harold, he did get out a few Hall of Famers in his career.
Yes, he did.
Let me tell you.
You'd think that I was out there playing when they left their gloves on the field in between innings still or something, baby.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Give me a break.
The Bulldog. That's what Tommy Lasorda used to call him all the time.
Indeed. You know, when you start going in the Hall of Fame company, you start facing all those old Hall of Famers. That's just the way it is.
Well, here's our next hitter up now for the West, and it's Jesse McLean, the right fielder. 1 out, and Vancouver, Washington trying to battle into the United States Championship game with a 2-0 lead here. Batting in the bottom of the second. And quickly there are 2 out on that 4-3 ground out. Evans making the pickup.
Well, we talked about the fierce pace of these games, and one of the reasons is these kids catch the ball.
Yep.
They're catching the ball, and Danny O'Donnell is throwing strikes. He's keeping his pitch count down. He's doing great.
You know, as I look down, Harold, I see size all over the field, you know, when you think about it. And I know Vandervelde stands out, but a lot of these youngsters on both these teams.
Yeah, I don't know what they're feeding them nowadays. I don't know if I could even play with this group. I know I couldn't have played when I was 12. I was puny.
Well, you think about it, in 1939, when Little League Baseball was invented for kids, these guys are dwarfing this field. The perspective of looking down at the field. The mound doesn't look big enough. The circle, the home plate area doesn't look big enough.
You're right.
1-1's the count here on Jeremy Dunham. He's the third baseman for Vancouver, Washington. The youngsters from the West in the yellow lead it 2-0. We're in the bottom of the second. What a thrill it is for these youngsters to play at night in South Williamsport. I was thinking about that with the lights down on the field and the crowd here. It's just a wonderful experience for all the youngsters who make it here.
This West team has had an interesting route. When they're in Huntington Beach, California, they played in front of 14,000 in their championship game.
14,000.
I mean, that is amazing. There's some big league teams that aren't even drawing 14,000 right now.
That's double what my Florida Marlins have been getting down there.
There you go.
2-2 and 2 out. Got him looking, and it's 1-2-3. So, and O'Donnell still hasn't given up a hit for Davenport, but they trail Vancouver, Washington 2-0 after 2 innings. Well, the West leading the Central 2-0, and a reminder that ESPN2's exclusive coverage of the Little League World Series continues tomorrow at 5 p.m. Latin America against Japan. That'll be the International Championship. Then at 8 p.m., the U.S. title contest. And a reminder, folks, don't forget, Saturday's ABC's Wide World of Sports has the Little League World Series Championship game at 4:30 Eastern Time. Watching intently, the youngsters from Bel Air, Texas, representing the South. Because if the West wins it, for sure they'll play for the title tomorrow night. There is one sequence here that would knock them out, but the Central would have to win and hold the West to under 3 runs. So that's the only way they could be knocked out. As of right now, it would be the West and Texas. But Davenport, Iowa says we got a long time to think about that here. And they're up at the top of the third with Nick Harkson, the right fielder.
Well, they've threatened every inning. You know, they're putting the pressure on. So we'll see if they're able to break it across. Couple nice defensive plays in the first inning by the West. Shut them down.
I would think he'd be looking for a walk here, huh?
Well, I'd say with the size, he's got a good chance. But this guy can hit. He wouldn't be an all-star here if he couldn't hit.
Here's Mom.
Gotta be there now, Nick. Don't help him.
Oh, it's agonizing for the parents, folks. Nothing they can do. Just sit there and worry. And it's 1-1.
They get into it, no doubt. We've seen all the emotions.
Quick hands, Nick. Come on, bud.
Crying over a home run, crying from a home run, gave up. I mean, we've seen it all.
Outside.
Corey's doing a good job here. He's keeping the ball down. He's throwing strikes. And, you know, 2-1 in the count, but he's also staying around the plate.
Young Nick says his favorite moment in sports is making it to the Little League World Series.
Pretty good looking little heater that time.
You know, Oral, I was talking with Gary Sheffield, somebody you know real well, played with a little bit. He played in the Little League World Series and the Major League World Series.
1 out. Hey, what a year Sheffield's having.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable. But he still says that the Little League World Series is the one thing that stands out in his mind.
You got a fresh slate when you're 12 years old, and you get to have an experience like that. To come to the Little League World Series, Unbelievable. Just to come here as an 11-year-old as a spectator was unbelievable for me.
I think he played on a team out of Tampa, Florida, didn't he, Harold?
Yes, he did. Derek Bell was on that team.
Is that right? Was Derek
Yes.
on that team also?
Yeah, they played together.
Mitchell back up for the second time here, Harold.
Well, we call him Mr. Excitement because he's made something happen almost every at-bat. Last at-bat took a fastball right down the middle to strike out, but if this young man puts a bat on the ball, he's going to make things happen. His speed, he flies, puts pressure on the defense. He's got some power, had a couple home runs in their regional tournament to get here. Does a lot of things. And he's a top-notch AAU basketball player. Oral, did you play a lot of sports when you were growing up?
You know, I mostly played ice hockey and baseball, and a little bit of golf. I didn't get to play AAU at all or move up the ladder. One thing I was noticing reading his bio in the updates, that they have scored 7 runs, and he scored 4 of them. So you talk about Mr. Excitement making stuff happen. He's in the middle of it.
And he might start something here, Oral, if he can get ball 4. Got a 3-1 count with 1 out. The youngsters from Davenport are down a couple of runs, and he slams one foul ball, and count is full.
Harold, that's got to be a good piece of hitting because he's got 3-1. He's looking to start a rally. He waits. He lets the ball get deep on him, and he hits a foul ball long down the right field line.
Well, it really is. He gave himself a good long look, and he stayed with that pitch. They left it on the outside half, and he drove it. Just didn't keep it fair.
3-2.
A little 3-2 hook right there. Oral, that's not fair. Why do pitchers do that?
We've got to do something to keep the advantage. I mean, you got a fastball 3-1. That's your hitter's pitch. You kind of miss it. Now we're going to come back and try and trick you. But you know Michael wants to do something special here after talking to Junior on the phone today.
Yeah, he's excited.
Sounds like he listened rather than talked, huh?
And
he's on.
He's on.
Would that be a pretty good grudge match? Good race there. Michael against Junior.
That'd be interesting.
Kohler up. 1 out. And Dunkel struggling right now.
Kohler double into the right center field gap first at bat. And you're right, Brent, he is starting to struggle a tad. Walk the hitter. Ball 1 down.
And Kohler slams one into left center, in there. Second hit of the game for him. And Davenport with runners on second and third. And how about young Kohler? The only 2 hits in the game belong to him.
What a night. Jumped on that fastball. Terrific play all the way around. Oral, we got a great view from up here. Watch Kohler stay behind us. He drives it. And Michael Mitchell, great piece of base running. He waited to make sure the ball was going to land, and then he took off and still ended up in third base. Watch this, and then he turns on the jets, Oral.
Well, it was amazing because his speed sets up the runner being able to go to second.
Now Vandervelde up with the tying run out there on second base. And this is a big opportunity for the youngsters from Davenport, Iowa, representing the Central Division here. Loves those Hawkeyes. The big fella.
But right here, if I'm Corey, I've got to trade an out for a run. I've got to keep it at a 2-1 game. If I give up a run, I got to get this guy on the bench. I don't want this guy to get a base hit, possibly set up a bigger rally, possibly park one on me.
Here's the 1-1 outside. They've got a base open, but the cleanup hitter's up, Oral Muirfield.
Well,
he would be next.
You've got to have a lot of respect for Julian here. Try and maybe set up a force play at home if you happen to walk him. But you're right, Brent. Coming into the 4th hitter is kind of tough.
Foul ball. Is the pitcher okay? He's back up and
is the ground okay?
Anthony Munoz?
Oh my goodness.
Looks like Vandervelde got the worst of it. Looks like he's shaking off that shoulder. Take a look at this here, Harold.
What makes this play so close is the speed to get out of the box and get down there. Most kids aren't going to get close to that. I give Dunkel some credit for even going after the ball, trying to hang in there, knowing he's got a train coming.
Well, he's a linebacker in football, and that's what he looked like right there. 2-2 and 1 out now. Vandervelde is ready and swings and misses. Big out. Great strikeout all by Dunkel.
Well, it was. It's a high curveball, but this is one of the tougher pitches to hit. When a curveball starts to back up, as Harold knows, you're judging for it to keep breaking, and then he gets crocodile armed. It's really tough right there for a hitter.
Crocodile arm. That's new Oral Hershiser vocabulary, folks.
Muirfield steps in now and takes a ball. You could see our shot over there in the dugout. And Vandervelde was still flexing that shoulder after he went down. Yeah, see, they're looking at it a little bit over there.
Come on, Max, I'm third for you.
Well, this is Nick Muirfield's grandma. Now celebrate happy birthday. 70 years old. All right. What a moment now, and she'd like to celebrate it by seeing Nick take one right out over the fence. What a great moment, huh? 1-1 and 2.
You know, Little League Baseball, all about the family atmosphere, stretches into the stands here for Grandma. That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that great? This is the best buy in sports, folks. They'll let you in free. 2-1. Hit high and deep. Way back, and it has tied the game as Muirfield pulls up at second. Happy birthday, Grandma.
She said thank you, Brent. Wow, we have seen a lot of action already early in this game. McLean with a great effort at this ball. He goes back, he knows where the wall's at, and just not able to come down with it. Kept it in the ballpark. I don't know if it would have got out, Oral, but what a great effort.
Well, he ran a good route, and the ball just kept carrying on him, and he's on the warning track, and who knows where that wall is when you're out there.
Pitch is outside to Justin Evans.
Well, that warning track, you can see it's about half the size of a big league warning track.
Here's a good look from right now. This is what he's looking at. He didn't quite get to the dirt, so he didn't know exactly where he was. When you get to the dirt and the surface changes, you got an idea.